So I went and knocked his door. I think I was about 10, and I knocked his door, and I says to him, "Hello, sir. You don't know me, but I play guitar a little bit. Will you teach me how to do guitar like that?" And he sort of just went, "Yeah, come back Tuesday." So I did. Hey guys, my name is Jake from Acid Age.
Hi, I'm Jude from Megadeth.
Hi, I'm Jake and Jude from Acid Age. I play drums and guitar and bass.
I do absolutely nothing to help out.
Where I am going to be talking a lot about me, my bass technique, my drumming skills, and my guitar playing. And you're watching the Chronicles of Knobcast
With John and Tammy.
Hello world, Wednesday 13 here.
Hey, this is Tom Stain.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ronnie Ledrew.
Yes, my friends, my name's John Mahon.
What's going on, everybody? It's Tom.
And it's Jamie. Welcome to the Chronicles of Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, theys and thems, this week we are joined by three gentlemen who may look rather familiar to you all, because they are joining us to tell their story, to state their business, and give us enough Northern Irish charm to turn me into a slave girl. Here to talk all about their upcoming album, Perilous Compulsion, releasing in March, and so much more. We are joined by Jude, Jake and Aran. Put your hands together for the masters of war jazz, as we bring you the Chronicles of Acid Age.
Well, I mean, can we clap that?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
So once again, we're on the Chronicles of Podcast.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we have attempted to do this interview once already, and we failed massively to the fact that a massive, giant fucking storm hit Northern Ireland, and Jake saved the day with it, single-handedly stopped that storm himself.
You're welcome.
Absolutely phenomenal. But boys, how have your personal Tuesdays been?
Normal?
All right.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
I had the laziest Tuesday that I've had in a long time. It was fantastic.
What have you done fuck all day?
Yes,
Oh,
exactly. Fuck.
I'm jealous. I'm so jealous right now.
It was remarkable. It's the first time in weeks that I've done that too. Like actually nothing, not a thing. You know, this is actually the most busy I've been all day. This moment right now.
Oh, sorry to have ruined your day, my friend.
You would consider.
How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, it was all right. Pretty short day at work, just a wee morning one. And got home. I was like, oh, God, fucking knackered. Got into bed, and here we are.
We're all joining afterwards.
Interview. Drank some tea and waited.
All I'm thinking now is next time we get together at like a music festival, we just need to find a giant bed and just do it in a giant bed. All five of us. Let's just get in, tuck up.
Let's do it. That's how me and Jake met.
We didn't do
it. We didn't do it. We actually, I'm not joking, we actually met in bed.
Wait, what? Okay, it's a story time. Go.
Would you like some context?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Excellent. Further context. So me and Jake used to be in two different bands, and we were both playing this festival, and there was it 5 or 6 beds?
I think it was maybe 4, to be honest.
All right, so there was 4 double beds shared between 20 bands.
Oh my God!
And and me and Jake were in the same bed because I was just after playing, didn't care who the fuck was in the bed. I was for lying down. And I got into this bed and he went, "Hey man, I'm Jake." And I went, "I'm Jude." And we had a fist bump and we became best friends. We met in bed.
That's insane. That's...
Yeah, somehow with that story, I'm the only one in bed. It's gonna make so much better.
He's waiting for someone special to climb into his.
Yeah, nobody ever gets in bed with me.
This Lars Ulrich turns up and presents you with dick sticks.
Oh no.
He's the first drummer that came into my head. He's the only person that came into my head. That's the first. So I'm not very well known with drummers, so apologies.
Lars is all you need to know, really.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, Joey Johnson came up, but he didn't want a fucking zombie getting in bed with you, do you? So.
Yeah.
There's Lars and there's Peter Chris, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need from me. You've mentioned a Kiss drummer. That's all you need from me. I'm happy. So we'll see.
Oh,
We're good.
Kiss gets us through the darkest moments of anything, really.
Yes,
Kiss is
anything
the greatest shit show ever. Like
going
when we're
wrong
in
with
the
the
van traveling to gigs, Kiss is our motivational anthems. You know, all of us
Yeah.
singing along.
just and
And we loved you boys for a reason.
special mention for Paul Stanley, Live to Win. That's been
Oh,
Yeah.
that's been an ongoing.
I fucking love that album.
Yeah.
We won't talk about Gene Simmons' asshole album, but the Paul's is great.
There was actually I remember one time I was really into these Kiss mistake videos on YouTube. Just like live compilations. And there was a gig we were doing, and we were at Jude's house at the time. And I was like, right, let's watch some of these videos, have a good laugh at them and all this. So hype us up for the gig. And then played quite a rough gig. Like that completely fucking backfired. You just made us shit.
That's the wrong inspiration.
So
I think we went at it with the wrong angle. We were like, well, if Kiss can fuck up, so can we.
Hey, they think they can fuck up.
So how we like to start these things is we like to take it right back to childhood. What did you want to be when you were growing up? Before the lights of rock and roll took your soul, what did you want to be when you were growing up? We start with you, Aran. What was the dreams of young Master Howe?
Oh God, I don't know. Like any kid, probably like a million different things, like different thing a day, But I don't know. I remember I had a thing about like when I was young, like a kid, like 3 or 4, like wanted to do like acting and shit like that, But things like that. But never really had much of a definitive plan.
Yeah. What about you, Jake? What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Earliest I can remember was wanting to be a fireman when I was about 3 or 4 years old. But have the physical fitness now, I'm probably a 60-year-old, so I don't think that's going to happen. So I'll just I'll stick to bass guitar.
stick to saving the world from storms.
Yeah, it involves a lot less fire as well.
Yeah.
Which always helps.
You went to water.
I've always, I don't think it's because of fingers, but like, how are you not got the most muscle? Don't use a pick, do you? No.
None of us do.
I don't know how.
Wait, I think we had this conversation at the first Bloodstock we were at.
Yeah.
You don't use one either, Jude?
No, I don't use a pick.
No, okay, this has blown my mind. I don't know why, but wait, so what do you do?
I bluff. I just
It's like a tiny little robot in your hand, and it's actually just like it's just playing it for you.
Yeah, that's it. Truthfully, I actually just like to feel every note. It just rattles your bones different. I like it.
That's quite beautiful in a way. Yeah, that was quite nice. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. When you were a child, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
First, an astronaut, and then I wanted to be a race car driver, and then I wanted to be a professional wrestler.
Oh,
and then I wanted to be like for a wee while I wanted to be like MI5 type job, like a secret agent type thing. And then I wanted to be an artist, and then from art I wanted to be a cartoonist, and then I wanted to. I briefly dabbled in religion as a 4-year-old, and I thought about becoming a priest. But there was no more room for any kids in the Catholic Church, so I ended up having to move on, and I became a toothbrush salesman, and then I discovered Elvis, and here we are.
that's A toothbrush? Well, then you went door to door?
Yeah.
For toothbrushes? Really?
Yeah.
What, were they some special kind of brush?
No, they were just normal, but I was trying to sell them around all the doors. But see, whenever a kid comes and knocks on your front door and offers you a toothbrush, you'd be surprised how many people just tell you to fuck off and slam the door in your face.
I imagine it was quite often. Going on probably about every time. Yeah.
Coming soon on our merch table, Jude's old acid age rotten toothbrushes.
That'd be incredible.
Chronicles
That'll
of
make
Oral
sense
Hygiene.
soon.
That's the subtitle of this interview: The Chronicles of Oral Hygiene. So let's bring it back round to music. Obviously, to do what you guys do, you have to have a love and passion of music. Everyone likes music, but to do what you do, you gotta have a love of music. Where did that love come from? Were you brought up around music a lot, or was it from peers, friends, family? Where did that love come from? We'll go with you, Jude. Why not?
Me?
Yeah, go
on. Well, like I say, my first time getting really excited about music was Elvis. I saw the 68 comeback on TV, and I thought it was just amazing. I always loved that gig because it's quite an intimate one. You know, I think Elvis was just out of the army and he was nervous. He couldn't still sing anymore or whatever. So it's just like a wee square stage with a load of people standing around it and like 4 or 5 guys just standing playing, you know. But I just thought it was awesome, you know. It just as well the kind of 50s rock and roll thing. I loved it whenever I was little, you know. So that was mine really. It was just Elvis, and then Elvis turns into AC/DC, and AC/DC becomes Van Halen, and Van Halen becomes Slayer, and it goes on and on and on, you know. So.
It's quite impressive to go from Elvis to what you guys do. It's quite a sweet.
No, it's the same. We're just doing it wrong.
That's what it is.
They covered Elvis before I was in the band, didn't you?
No.
Hound Dog. Oh yeah, that never happened.
What the fuck? Aaron, are you okay?
No, I'm just having hallucinations.
Oh, okay. Getting too comfortable.
Elvis age, yeah.
What about you, Aaron? Where did that love for music come from you? Because your dad's a drummer, is that right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. And into a lot of metal and rock and a lot of stuff I would be into. So I was hearing quite a lot of that stuff at an early age. Like one of my earliest memories of music was like Faith No More and Mr. Bungle. I just have like a really remember hearing that early on, and when I was a kid. So yeah, I kind of had that growing up, and but the first band that really got it for me was AC/DC. I'd heard Motorhead and stuff, and I liked it, and it was cool. But I just remember my dad picking me up from primary school. I had Highway to Hell on in the car, and it was just like something else, you know, something really lit up when I heard that for whatever reason. So then that kind of got my own, like I was genuinely interested in it myself rather than just hearing it around the house, if that makes sense, and kind of liking it. And yeah, and then eventually as time went on, dabbled a wee bit with guitar, and I was shit at that. I was more interested in Guitar Hero. Then I thought, right, okay, I got an acoustic guitar. It's like, right, if I get an electric guitar, I'll get into it. Didn't happen. Then I played bass at one of those like school open day things. I was like, right, if I get a bass, I'll be into that. Not really. And then eventually drums, it was like really obvious. I'd always kind of had it a bit, but like it was like, yeah, this is the thing, like, you know.
Suppose with your dad having a drum kit in the house and all as well.
Well, the funny, not all the time actually. He did at one point have an electric kit in the garage, but that was like quite a few years before I actually got into it. I didn't actually have any understanding of the role of drums as a kid. it was actually, I'm not even kidding, it was fucking when Guitar Hero brought the drums out, and I played the songs, and I realized, oh, all right, it's like beats. I just thought, and this is like this is into like quite a while. Like I just thought it was random hitting basically, and I was actually thinking about this recently. When I was in P6 in primary school, the teacher I had, he was like this amazing musician. He could play like everything. He was like amazing on keys and all, and he got really into drums, and he got a drum kit for some reason, just randomly. He was like, right, I'm going to get a wee electric drum kit outside the classroom, and it was kind of like a thing in the class. Like everyone would get like 10 minutes on it or whatever, every so often. And I just remember I went on it, and literally within about 20 seconds got pulled off it for some reason. Just was I was just smacking the fuck out of it. I had no idea. And we actually did this. We did this weird lunchbox drumming thing as well. That was technically my first gig.
What? Using lunchboxes?
Yeah, like he goes, right, I'm going to split up the classes. You're doing all your English and maths and all. He was like, right, let's take some time to drum on lunchboxes and we'll do a gig.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, and we actually...
You know what would have been amazing?
Yeah.
No, it would have been amazing if you had to use toothbrushes as drumsticks.
I fucking think it's coming on. Yeah.
No, he got us all. He got us all fucking big furfs, like proper drumsticks, And now when I look back on it, he was probably showing us all the rudiments and stuff, but I had no fucking idea of it at the time.
Right.
But I still did that gig. I still played that, and so yeah, it's just a random memory that came back to me there. It's like, yeah, that was weird. But it just makes me laugh that like everyone else got like a few minutes on the drums and I went on. I was like, get the fuck off those drums in like 10 seconds.
There's no way that could have become a drummer one day.
I didn't have any natural thing for it. Like it took a while for it to make sense.
I imagine if you did use Jude's toothbrushes, could you have used the bristle side as the brush? There's a brush bit, or would that not worked?
You could use both, I suppose. Yeah, you could use the handle for the stick and then the brush for brushes.
Yeah. Next Acid Age gig. Why's Aran got toothbrushes in his hand?
Oh no, they're just being silly. See, that's it. Because those two don't use X, Aran thinks he has to do something like that.
He's using his cock and a finger.
Trying to do like last beats with toothbrushes.
You know what you can do? You can get electric toothbrushes and just like hold them down.
Oh yeah. These are all ideas. See, you guys, wait till you see the next release. This will be on it. You've got the first scoop.
This music video ideas, just throwing them at you.
Yeah.
What about you, Jake? Where did that love come from for you?
Earliest I can remember enjoying music, it actually came out of religiously watching a VHS tape of the guy that did some of the claymation,
Wallace and Gromit guy.
Aardman. He did I think he did Wallace and Gromit. He did Creature Comforts and stuff. So it was like a compilation VHS tape, and it just went through like random stuff he did. And at the very end, it was a music video for Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel.
Oh.
And that sort of subconsciously got drilled into my brain.
The bass in that's still lethal.
Yeah.
Like such a bass line.
I still can't play it. But that was like the earliest enjoyment I got out of music, and then from there, my grandparents listened to a fuck ton of ABBA, like big ABBA heads. So that's in there. And then when I was kind of 8 to 10, getting more into like punk and stuff, went on to like discovering Maiden when I was about 9 years old. So that was quite a big leap. Believe it or not, I first discovered Kiss in a Simpsons comic. It was like you remember they did like the Treehouse of Horror thing on Halloween? there was a comic where there was like a story about how Bart Simpson is Gene Simmons' son.
I've read that. I think I've got that actually. Still.
Yeah. So in one comic, I discovered Kiss, Alice Cooper,
Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie, and Meatloaf.
Yeah,
So that was a life
I
changing.
know the one you're on about.
Yeah, it was a
I
life-
had it too.
not really clearly. Like, yeah, I think I've still got it somewhere.
Yeah, so I read that like forever, and that was quite an inspiring purchase for me. And I remember the first day in second year of high school, my dad was driving me to school, and he had this like CDR, like a rewritable CD, and he just stuck it in the stereo, and it was Ride the Lightning. And like, you know, the way Fight Fire with Fire starts out, like a nice classical guitar, and I just thought nothing of it. You know, it's like, oh, he's got classic FM on. Oh, yeah. And then the riff came in, and there was like a out of body experience for me. And that was started a hunger for like aggressive, distorted guitar playing. And didn't really think to actually start playing music until I was about 16. My dad got me my first bass, so I was really into Maiden and Kiss, so like bass heavy bands, I suppose. And just kind of went from there, I guess. Here I am.
That's awesome. Like, obviously, Jake and Aaron, you sort of said what led you to that instrument. What led you to the guitar, Jude?
My aunt left a nylon string guitar in the house for me whenever I was little, and she didn't say anything. She just dropped it in, left it in the corner, and then like hung out with mum, and then she went home. And then I'd been looking at it, and I was already listening to like I said, I liked all the 50s rock and roll, so I was listening to Elvis and Buddy Holly and Little Richard and Chuck Berry and that kind of stuff. And then basically that sort of made me wanting to start singing and playing guitar. And I kind of just wanted to be able to play chords and sing Elvis songs, you know. And then one day I was running around my mum's housing estate. I was being a wee hood. And there was a guy a couple of doors up, and he had his windows open, and he was absolutely ripping on the guitar, like just shredding. And I had never actually heard someone play lead guitar like that before, where there was a specific technique, and there was tone and touch and feel and loads of distortion. I hadn't heard hard rock or anything yet, you know. So I went and knocked his door. I think I was about 10, and I knocked his door, and I says to him, "Hello, sir. You don't know me, but I play guitar a little bit. Will you teach me how to do guitar like that?" And he sort of just went, "Yeah, come back Tuesday." So I did, and I took lessons with him. He's still one of my best friends, and it was amazing. So that was pretty much my fundamental relationship with the guitar, where it all started with me actually getting to see it up close. Because like, if you saw, I find this with teaching kids as well, and I think it's important. I've played in front of kids where maybe the mum's brought them and says, "Hey, can you give him a guitar lesson?" I say, "Yeah, sure." And he comes and sits in, and I always do like 2 or 3 minutes of just showing off, not playing songs, just flexing on the guitar, right? And there's a lot of kids that have never seen that up close because they don't go to gigs. They're kids, you know? And when they see it up close, it's always the same reaction. Jaws hit the floor, and you see the eyes widen, the excitement in their face, you know? And I love that. That's, you know, as they talk about in professional wrestling, a rim pop, you know? So I love that about it. And that was pretty much how I came to the guitar. And then it was guitar mad. Still am guitar mad, you know? I can't walk past a shop without seeing a guitar in the window and getting like utterly excited. Like, it's amazing, you know? So it's my main love, you know. It's absolutely everything that makes up my character now, you know. I sleep thinking about guitars. It's not right. You know, become a guitar. I have, yeah.
Your bed's a guitar. Your toothbrush is a guitar. Yeah. I love how your introduction to guitar, though, was completely ignoring Stranger Danger and just knocking on some dude's house.
We've talked about that because this was a guy like in his early 40s, you know, and here was a 10-year-old knocking on the door like, fuck the rules. I'm here to learn to shred. You know? And see, in hindsight, there was total innocence in it, but I'm really, really grateful he didn't molest me.
Yeah. We're doing the best of pants. Right, love. What do you want? Oh, that's quote of the interview so far, I think.
Give me a toothbrush, I'll teach you how to play.
So obviously we know how you two met, Jake and Jude. Like, so Aran, how did you get involved with the band, and how did you all meet as a collective?
Well, I knew them probably like a couple of years into the band going. I got into them. I actually knew the previous drummer first. I was kind of Facebook friends with him, and then I saw he joined Acid Age. I was like, oh, cool. So that's kind of how I found the band. So I went to a few gigs and then kind of met the guys and became sort of friendly with them and everything. And I hadn't played in the band at all at this point. And Luke, the previous drummer, eventually left. And I just started putting up just a couple of silly like wee drumming videos on Facebook and things, just me playing by myself, just to put it out there that I'm playing, you know?
Yeah.
So it just came to the point, like, because they knew me about it, was like, here, do you want to give this a go? So that was that. Just went into the rehearsal space, played a few songs, and
the rest is history.
Yeah.
We had a couple of different drummers lined up to audition, and Aran was the first one to show up. And he came and played the songs, and then afterwards, me and Jake went for a piss together. Separate urinals. and we sort of just said, aye, that was class. Do you want to just say to him? And he was like, yeah. So we went up and just says, yeah, fuck all those other guys. You know? So it was just one of those meant to be type situations. And funny enough, the only time I'd heard Aran drumming before was a video of him playing an electric drum kit in tech. Like, that was it. He was like college drumming, you know? And that was the only time I'd actually heard him drum.
I don't think that was in tech. I think that was in a practice room. I think I was auditioning tech. I think that was the thing. But it was like a wee practice room me and my dad went into. Just hired it out. I had a couple of videos. I had like actually there was that might have been my own electric drum kit maybe. I think I put one up, and then I did like a couple of. I was playing like a Rainbow song and like a Rush song and like a couple of things I put up on Facebook. But
we kind of knew he was Aran because of those videos, because of the stuff he was doing. It was like all these mad rolls on the kit, and it was like, yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
It was also this is also a bit superficial sounding, but it was also to do with the fact that he had class t-shirts, you know. So there was a certain amount of like, I like all the bands that he wears, so I kind of know that he's into the same stuff. It's a lot easier then, rather than, you know, getting a drummer in, you might have to explain what it is you want to do or whatever, whereas he knew all the same stuff, so he was able to just sit down and play, and there was no talking, you know. Cut the fat, as they say.
Yeah, I love that. So punctuality, could fucking play brilliantly and just loved your t-shirts.
Yeah.
You're in.
I was probably wearing the same Judas Priest British Steel t-shirt in the videos that I still do. No, it was very, very casual actually, yeah. I think we did like 2 songs. Or like 3 songs. And I actually remember clearly them doing that, right? We're gonna go to the toilet. And I think I followed them into the toilet, not really understanding. And they're like,
the fuck off. They're like, we're trying to have a chat, go away.
And then went out to the sort of smoking area, and it was like, the exact words were, if you want it, you've got it. I was like, cool. And went in and played a few more songs. And the funny thing was, at the time, the band was actually a 4-piece.
Oh.
at this time there was a singer as well, and he wasn't there. So it was actually still just this exact band that did that. And then
Yeah.
I think your man, and he was just like, was he all right? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was Eddie, who plays in War Christ and Frayed Ends. And we actually just said to him, yeah, Aaron's the guy. And he just took our word for it, you know. But eventually it just became us three, didn't it? So like it's funny how our first practice was this lineup, and then it was
kind of
that way, yeah.
But yeah, it was good times. That was in the Centre in Belfast,
which we've just recorded in as well. Come full circle.
That was quite nostalgic.
So how did you come to take over vocals then, Jude? I assume you were just playing guitar when the other guy was there.
I actually wanted to be a vocalist, but I sort of at the time didn't feel that it was good enough, you know. And then basically Eddie that was singing for us, and he's awesome, and I love the guy, and he's a great vocalist, but he was in too many bands, you know. So it just kind of felt like we were working around other bands' schedules. And I'll be the first to admit this, like with Acid Age, I am a selfish bastard. Like there's no room to be anyone's side project, you know. So I had a chat with him, and it wasn't like we got rid of him or he left. We had a mutual agreement, you know, and we were both happier this way. So it was just handier for me to start singing, and I did, and I liked it, and I've got better at it. I'm still not totally happy with what I'm doing, but on our new album, like, it's the best I've ever sang. So I can hear my progress, you know. So if I can keep going on that trajectory, I might reach a level where I'm just feeling very confident about it. But I still hate singing without a guitar. Like, I kind of feel like I can hide behind the guitar when I sing, if that makes sense. But to just, like, with my hands down and sing is the most soul-destroying thing. Is it Tim Robinson you call the motivational speaker?
I
can't remember.
Name sounds very
There's a motivational speaker. I think his name's like Tim Robinson or something. But he did this seminar, and there's like 1,000 people sitting down in the audience watching him. And he says, hands up who doesn't care what anyone thinks about them. You're just a free spirit. You don't care. You're just you. I'm me, and I don't care what anyone thinks. And a load of people raised their hands. And he picked one girl, and he says, stand up. She stood up, and he just went, what are you going to sing for us? And her face just sinks, you know? So it is quite an alien thing, you know, to just belt out song, you know, because it was like a musical and life was just people singing all the time. I'd love that. But it is a tricky thing. And, you know, with learning to sing, a big part of it is, it's a two-step process. First is accepting you'll never sound like any of your favorite singers because you've different vocal cords, different mouth shape, everything. And the second one is learning to like the sound of your own voice, which I'm sure you guys doing podcasts can relate, because when you first hear yourself on video, it's a bit like, oh, is that me?
Yeah. That was my biggest learning curve when we first started doing this. When I was editing it back, I was like, oh God, this is horrible hearing my own voice. Oh.
You're lucky though, because you're very well spoken, so your voices sound nice for podcasting. So we're from Northern Ireland, so we talk like that, you know.
We've actually got quite nice Northern Ireland accents, believe it or not. It gets.
Speak for yourself.
I just like the hand on the chin, sultry look. We've got nice Northern Irish accents.
Hi, Jude's toothbrush here, available now.
No, it's available now.
I didn't want to be that wanker that starts trying to do your accent because I can't. So I'm not going to say it. Do you know what I mean?
You have to now.
No, I can't. I can't do it.
Mocked relentlessly, to be honest. That's shit.
What's the norm?
You know what? It's still really jarring for me if I watch something, it can be TV or Netflix or something. If I hear a Northern Irish accent, it's like, God, that's awful.
It's horrible. That's horrible. I remember they did one of those like sexiest voices ever fucking poll things, and it was like #1, like Northern Ireland, Liam Neeson. It's like it does not fucking sound like that most of the time.
It's not a Ballymena accent.
No, it's not. Liam Neeson spent too much time soaking up the rays in California to have a Ballymena accent.
No.
I mean, I'm from Birmingham. I completely fully understand having your accent mocked all the time, mostly from him.
I love Birmingham.
So yeah, Birmingham accent rules.
It's heavy metal, like it's the most heavy metal fucking voice. Like
it is. It's the. I mean, heavy metal belongs to Birmingham. Like it is theirs. You know.
We own it. We claim it. So when we're like talking to bands, we like to find out all about the name. Where did the name Acid Age come from?
And what came first?
Oh.
Acid or age? Age. Age before beauty. Honestly, it was kind of at the time I was listening to just loads of the thrash bands. Just all thrash metal mad. And they all had like chemical names, and there was like nuclear assault and toxic holocaust and all these kind of names. And I wanted some acid or nuclear or toxic in the name. But I loved the alliteration of the two A's, Acid Age, you know, two A's. And it kind of like, I think it's easy to remember. It's easy to spell. Those are bonuses, you know. I probably thought about different names and stuff, but I remember I was painting my bedroom, and as I put a coat of paint on the walls, I actually wrote the words Acid Age on the wall, like with a paintbrush.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I saw it written, and I was like, yeah, that's a cool band name. So that's probably if we named the band now, we would call it something different, you know, but that's where it came from anyway.
Did you have any ideas like before Acid Age? Did you have anything else, or was that's just the first one that came up?
I can't remember, but I'm sure there was lots. You know, I was looking at sort of band, but I'm sure they were all dreadful.
That's why I like asking.
Some of them were probably full of profanities and everything, so whatever. But we got the right one in the end. I think it suits us.
Acid fuck.
Shit age.
I did actually tell one of my managers and work the band name, and I'm still convinced she thought I said Acid AIDS.
Oh no.
That's that immortalized.
But you know what? See, all the time, if I tell, usually not a muso or a metalhead or anything, if I just am talking to someone, they're like, oh, you're in a band, what do you call the band? And I tell them, they nearly always instinctively just assume it's something to do with drugs, you know? And it never, ever was. It had nothing to do with drugs ever. But the amount of people that's like, oh, Acid Age, do you like the LSD?
No, but they clearly do. It's the first thing they thought of. I like that too.
Doesn't help when we now have songs like Third Eye Locksmith, you know.
When we're like using the word psychedelic to describe the band, you know, it's like you're called Acid Age.
Well, just lots of tie dye. We just love tie dye.
Yeah, that's it. Black tie dye. Black tie dye. I will wear black until they invent a darker tie dye.
So, why thrash? Where did the love of thrash come? Because I know you said you listened to a lot of thrash, but what made you want to make that your sound? Because I always wonder how metal bands come up with the sort of like genre they want to go down, you know?
Well, it just kind of clicked for all of us. I mean, Aran loves Slayer. Jake's first experience, as he said, was hearing Ride the Lightning, you know. I was the same. I was like the wee 16-year-old dickhead that just learned loads of Megadeth songs on the guitar, and it was just the most exciting stuff for me to play. And then, kind of as you get older, you start, listening to other stuff and branching out, and then you start adding other influences in, and that's really, originality is probably a myth, because what you're basically doing is just drawing from wherever it comes from and just putting what you've heard, translating it into what you're doing. So I would say the skeleton of the band is still thrash metal, but it would be unfair to describe us as a thrash band nearly, because there's so much other stuff going on, with all the jazz fusion stuff, and even Jake loves death metal, and there's a bit of like black metal ambience in the band, and Aran loves lots of like, kind of proggier bands, like he loves Tool and stuff, and Opeth and whatever. So there's so much going on. But I think for me, the thrash metal thing was just like Megadeth and Exodus and Testament kind of influences whenever I was a teenager. I just loved it. Plus, I'm sort of the age where the whole 2007 thrash revival thing was happening as I was a teenager. And a lot of the bands that were coming out around that time just were really exciting to me. It's just, it felt more in tune with Megadeth and Metallica and Razor and stuff. It just felt like I wasn't a big fan of some of the 16 syllable bands that were popular around the early to mid noughties. Now I brush my teeth before Christmas type bands, the kind of emo metalcore thing, I just like the thrash metal stuff better. That was the foundations for what we do.
I love the fact you've got that unique sound. You've gone, we need a name, war jazz. Like, it's the greatest genre name I've ever heard in my life.
Thank you. Jake actually came up with that, and it was because around 2016, 2017, you got all these, the sloppier, the truer, like black and thrash bands, and they were all describing their sound as war metal, but we were like, but we're kind of jazzy, so. And then he came out with it, he went, war jazz.
I just think it's superb. It's so unique sounding, and you hear that, you're like, what the fuck is war jazz? I've got to listen to this.
It started to catch on. People have started to actually use it as well. The war jazz,
Yeah, it's been fun.
Because it is quite ambiguous, as you say, as well. Like, what the fuck?
It could be anything, really, couldn't it? It could literally be traditional jazz from 1942.
So we love to ask about songwriting process. Like, for you guys, is it music and then you write lyrics afterwards, or is you've got your lyrics and you find the music for it, or is it's something completely different? How do you guys go about that with songwriting?
It's mostly music first. Someone will write a riff, or Aran will write a beat, or sometimes Aran has an idea for a riff. He'll sort of sing it to us. It's normally music though, like it's a very riff driven kind of style that we have, I think. And as musicians, I think we're all quite into like the kind of technicalities of different styles and genres and expressing those sort of influences that we have. So I think normally it's music first, but there's always song concepts that we want to write about. Like we've got like maybe 10 or 15 titles in the background
in the bag,
that we're kind of thinking about using. So there's always like, oh yeah, well, I want to write a song about this, and then we just sort of see if it matches to something that we've got written.
So basically there's no rules. Someone might come up with a riff or a drum beat or something. There's been times whenever I've like written a song title, and then that's kind of put me in the zone to write a riff in the style of how I would interpret the words, if that makes sense. There just is absolutely no rules with it. We've had good luck writing songs every way. There's been times when, I'll sit down and I'll say, to like Jake, oh, I've actually got this riff, and I'll show him it, and he'll go, that's so weird. I've got something in the same key that's just going to gel to that. And then there's two sections that happen, you know. And then once we get with Aran, he'll just start drumming on it, and it's really, really nice and very, very, very free. Where there's like no one kind of says, "Oh, I want the song to go like this and I want it to go like that." It just kind of happens, you know. And of course, we'll, like any band, you know, we'll chop things and change things and improve on it and build on it. But the skeleton always starts with one of us having some sort of idea, and we all have them. So there's not like a lead songwriter in the band, if that makes sense. All songs are written by Acid Age, you know, and I love that. I really do.
This album in particular was very free flowing in the music. A lot of it was sort of done in the practice room. You know, Semper was a little bit more kind of like demo, like Jude and Jake would kind of record some of it themselves, then send it to me, and then I would do it, and then we'd get together and all. Whereas this one it was almost like they'd come in with the riffs a lot of the time. Then we would jam it. Then we would record it together, just rough. Then kind of take it back and keep working like that. So it was very cool. It was very just free flowing with the three of us.
I love that.
There's a section, one of our new songs, Aran, where in every cliche towards the end, where you were like, oh, I would love a beat like this. Can you write something to this? And we actually took a riff out and put something else on top of it because the beat you'd made was just far cooler, you know?
Yeah, it's very kind of fluid. It can change very easily, which is cool. You know, we're all quite and I think we're quite good at sort of letting each other experiment with what we think. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's open-minded. Like we don't
Yeah,
let each other's creative potential within the band. Like just see what can come out of it. And like, there's no Dave Mustaine in this band. Like there's no one.
Yeah.
There's no like.
You're fired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not dictated by anything.
There's no dictator. It's a democracy, especially in the songwriting. But you know, like the guys are saying, you know, it's very free flowing, and we can all have ideas. It's organic as having a good shit after a curry.
It hurts as much too sometimes.
It does, yeah. There's as much sweating involved too.
Yeah, like this next album, for how kind of out there some of it is and how weird some of it might sound, actually came quite naturally a lot of the time. Not all, some of it was harder, obviously, as it always will be, but yeah, it was cool. Just good chemistry. Like,
We're very blessed because we're like three best friends, so the songs write themselves, you know, once we're together. We're very lucky that way.
And I think from the success you've had so far, I think shows that as well. So
that's cool of you to say.
but we've talked about it a little bit, so we'll bring it up properly, shall we? Your brand new album, Perilous Compulsion, is out on March 28th. Mm-hmm. How excited are you for it to put it out into the world?
Very, yeah.
Terrified.
Terrified.
Well, yeah, that as well.
Why?
Well, I don't know. Not anywhere near as terrified as I was putting Semper out, the last album. You know, was that? Well, that was my first album, so I would have been more nervous about it, I suppose.
I'm sitting, knowing full well that no matter what happened, what budget there was, what money, what studio, there is absolutely no way that I myself could have done better, you know. And I say that for all the lads too, but I'm specifically speaking on my behalf because I don't want to put words in anyone's mouths. But I absolutely know that we could not have done better. It doesn't matter what the funds were or what the studio or the engineer, you know. So I'm very, very, very proud of it. And I keep saying to everyone, like, this is a case of, if you do not like this album, you do not like Acid Age, you know, because it's the most us sounding release with everything, with the art and the vision and the production. And like I was saying earlier, I'm very, very I'm happy with how my vocals came across on it, because that was the thing I worked the hardest on this album, because I wanted a massive step up, and I'm really, really chuffed. So I'm excited because I know when it's out, someone loves or hates it, it doesn't make a difference to me, because I did my best, and I know the lads did as well. So
Yeah,
very
we can
proud.
stand behind it no matter what.
Yeah.
What was it you said, Jake?
Sorry.
This you were talking about. I think there was a lot of voices at the same time. Are you personally excited for the release?
I am, yeah. But it's I hate the sort of lull period when it's finished and you're waiting for it to be released, and it's like,
Okay.
oh, just come on, you bastard.
It's getting there though, man. It's getting there. We're near the start of March here, you know. So
Yeah, whenever that.
but
I mean, the first time we met you, we told you the album title, you know.
Yes, you did.
So
Yes.
that's
Yes,
how
you did.
long we're at it.
That was what, 2 years ago, nearly.
Yeah.
Mental, man. It's
2023.
I love the fact that happened, because that was very late into the last day as well.
Yeah, it was.
So I think I left early that day. I can't remember. I left early one week, yeah, but still, it was like, it was. I love moments like that where it's like, oh, you know, you came to chat, like, oh, we have interview. We go, yeah, of course, and you just never know how those are going to go. We've had a few where we've gone, yeah, it was cool. Like, well, we enjoy every interview we do anyway. But when we had the chemistry we had, like straight away, you're like, oh, okay, this is love shit like this. And now look at us 2 years later.
yeah, that was brilliant fun actually. Like it was such a sort of the high of coming off the stage doing that and just having such a laugh in that interview was just class. It's really good.
The other side to that is, you know, I'm not gonna diss anyone, but there were some interviews I did that weekend which sucked, and just I really appreciated the amount of research that you guys did
Always.
into the band beforehand, and
Yeah.
it makes a big difference. It made it far easier for us to speak as well. So thank you, lads.
No, not at all. Not at all. An absolute pleasure. I mean, I don't like the idea of going into an interview blind. Anyway, I don't like the idea of going and be like, so you've got a song and it's coming out. Yeah, tell us all about it.
We did one interview, and the guy says, "So Acid Rage."
No,
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
that's a cardinal sin. No, I hope you walked away.
What's worse is the three of us walked away and went, "That's a good band name as well."
They'll be our proteges. They'll be the guys who will do the Acid Rage. There are.
That'll be all your kids.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to name the band whenever we have to revamp, because we've been cancelled. Too much toothbrush jokes.
But going off the fact that you dropped State Your Business music video probably about a month or so ago now. It's phenomenal, by the way. Of course, we have to say that because you're here. I'm joking. Yeah, I actually really, I think it came out and I loved it. But Jude, clean vocals.
Yeah.
Jake did some too. He's harmonizing on the choruses.
Oh, both of you.
Yeah. Jake sang
Loved
his
it.
ass off. It was brilliant.
Loved it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
I'm
we're
very
very proud of it. It's not the best track on the album either, but it was an easy choice for a first single because of the chorus hook, you know.
Yes.
But it's not our favorite, you know.
See, that was Sorry, go.
No, go ahead, Aran.
I was going to say that was the one. That's probably the most kind of singy, and the most clean, and the most kind of biggest departure in a way. Not departure, but you know what I mean. Like,
I think Hamster Wheel is. I think it's the most singy one.
Yeah, I suppose maybe you'll get to hear about it.
But I know what you mean.
It's one of them. So that was the one.
Different types of singing, aren't they?
Yeah,
they are. Yeah.
That's all to be revealed.
What's the feedback?
This was the one that. It was like this was the one that was like, oh, what the fuck's that? You know, like if any of the songs were like fans were gonna hate it, you know, that would be it. Like when the chorus kicks in, but it's got a really good reception.
Yeah, Yeah, people are loving it. It's
I
been
do.
really exciting.
You remember the time we did that the first time with Dean?
Yeah.
And he was just like, this is a guy that's known the band for years and years and years and years. Just like, Queen singing! I was like, yep.
I think I was just making my dinner or something. I had it on my phone. It was blasting out my phone. I was just like, la la la. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, no fucking way. And then as I had a little rewind, it was like, holy shit! Dude, I love this. It was great. The video is really good, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Really fucking good.
Yeah, it's based on an episode of The Twilight Zone, Button. And it's just, it was an easy song to basically choose to do the video because we wrote the song based on the episode. And we're kind of into that as well, like, shows like Twilight Zone and just anything kind of off kilter a wee bit, and it was a really fun one to do our own interpretation of that episode as well. So I loved it.
So why have you not released it as a single? As like on Spotify? It's not
Okay. Thank you very much for that, because we've been giving our manager grief about that just today.
So where is it? Yeah. If you're watching this, manager, fucking what's his name?
Yeah, James.
Yeah, James. Where the fuck is it, James? Hey, why is it not fucking Spotify right now?
It's James' business.
Yeah. So James is actually the guy that gets murdered in the music video too. The guy on the motorhead suit.
Yeah.
So that's our manager. He's awesome. He's really good.
That was a classic him not knowing what he was getting into sort of situation. It's like,
I feel like a bastard for that.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
James landed out. He landed out on the day of filming, and he says, "So what am I doing?" And I says to him, "Do you see that bodybuilder over there? His name is Alan Boyce, and he's going to beat the shit out of you."
Michaela's getting it too.
Boss.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm hoping that we can release the actual raw footage of them acting at some point. James ad-libbed this dialogue, and it was fucking outstanding.
Yeah, he was amazing.
When you see him talking in the video, it was fucking hilarious what he was doing. He was so into it. Like,
that's what you want, though. You don't want someone to half-ass it, do you? You want someone to come in like, oh, yeah, cool, there's a button there, brilliant. Yeah, I was going to kick my ass. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? You want someone that's going to go all fucking balls to the wall, don't you?
And Michaela as well, who stepped in fucking last minute,
Yeah,
what happened there?
I tell you the truth, the one of the ones I was really proud of was the guy that plays Stuart. That's a guy, Jason Gurley. And he was a wee bit anxious about being in the video, but he's a friend of ours, so he was happy to help, that way. But when he landed, he didn't actually know he would have any dialogue. And I literally gave him a notepad with dialogue in it. And I kind of saw him nervously reading it, but after a couple of takes, he just gelled into it. So I was really proud of him, and he did an amazing job. Jason's one of these characters. He's got really dark eyes, and he just looks like a creepy fucker.
The best part.
So it worked great.
So it was all very last minute and right, you're gonna get fucking the shit beaten out of you, and you're gonna fucking read these lines.
Yeah, it was.
It was funny, the actual performance part, us performing, I had like terrible shits that day. Just to let you know that. So if you go back and watch that video, like, I am clinging. Like, I could barely fucking hear the song that I was like miming along to. And I'm just fuck.
Because he was shedding so loud.
Yeah. I don't know the raw footage. Just
or you could see under the drum store, it's the Tesco bag open.
You know that episode of South Park where they're playing World of
Warcraft?
That's the Live to Win episode.
Yes, it is. It
was actually like that. Like that was all in sort of Jude place, and like we were playing it's in the kit, like they're acting in the kitchen, and then we're playing in the garage. So I got to our part, and I was like, right, I'll go to the toilet before we start. Went to the toilet, then came out, sat in the drum stool. Fuck, I gotta go again.
Oh, dude.
But it was I got through it, like, but it was just like Jesus.
That's dedication to your craft. That's dedication to the
there you
craft,
go.
brother.
See, now when you watch the State Your Business video, you just know that Aaron's thinking shit your business. He's suffering throughout.
Get my business.
Pure water, like, you know, those ones.
Oh, dude, come on.
This is Acid Age Uncut, baby.
Yeah, I know it is. Fucking hell. Acid Age Raw.
I'm giving you the juicy details, the watery details.
Oh, come on.
Right, I'm moving on. I'm getting away from this. The artwork for the album is fucking gorgeous.
Some segue.
What?
Let's get out of here some way.
I'm getting away from shitting.
The artist that did that had chronic diarrhea. Yeah,
it's made out of shit.
It is beautiful artwork. It was done by Dark Side Art. Got to give them a shout out. Dark Side Art on Instagram, and it's a guy and his wife, and I think he draws and then she digitizes everything.
Oh,
you know?
Nice.
Yeah. So they're a power couple that do artwork. It's beautiful. Their work's fantastic. And it was just like a lucky Instagram find, you know, where you're scrolling and then you're like, that's going to be our artist type thing, you know.
It took us a while to get to that. That was the one thing that we're like, oh, Jesus. We just really wanted to get it right. I was like, oh, what do we want on the cover? Who do we want to do it? And then eventually, when practice, I was like, ding. It just kind of clicked. Yeah.
And again, it was one of those collaboration efforts. I think it was Aran says like a guy screaming on the front, and like, and then I was like, yeah, and he's a shaman. He's like, okay. And then Jake was like, yeah, and we've got all the elements, the fire and the water, and blah blah blah. And you know, the title Perilous Compulsion was also a collaboration because the concept, I brought that concept, and then Aran came up with that words, and we were shooting out different ideas for it, but the actual title was meant to convey kind of being attracted to something that's killing you. And it can be different for anyone. It could be drink, could be drugs, could be gambling, could be sex, could be whatever it is, but you're invested in something that is ultimately destroying you. So this is why the shaman, he's got all this power and he's opening up the earth and the elements, but it's like electrocuting him. And I said to the artist, can you kind of make him of unclear ethnicity? So I didn't want, you know, a Native American or a Japanese or an Indian shaman. I wanted like kind of unclear. And he did a great job. He just did the hair all gray and it's fading into the sky. And, you know, he's all electrocuted and stuff. So you don't know what race he is or who he belongs to per se, you know. So I loved it too. And the color scheme of like the purples and blues and stuff, that's a lot to do with our live show. Whenever we gig, you know, you've seen us at Bloodstock. We always request from the lighting techs, no red lights. We never have red lights at our gigs. And that's just for vanity's purpose because, one, we like the kind of nebula, spacey vibe of like purples and blues and greens. And then also red lights are the hardest ones to take photographs in, so the photography can come back bad. Now, there's some bands that absolutely need red. If you went to see Slayer and the stage isn't all draped in red, you'd feel like you'd been robbed, you know. But just for us, we go for more like a nebulous, spacey, psychedelic thing, you know.
Jake, wasn't your bass lit up at Bloodstock?
Sorry?
Wasn't your bass lit up at Bloodstock?
Oh, no. So...
Oh, it's red strings.
Yeah.
Pink strings. Pink strings.
It was Sylvia Day and...
Yes.
It was kind of like just a tribute to that, I suppose. And I don't have any pink clothes, so...
okay.
I just thought it would look cool as well, and
it did. It really did. So I was trying to link it into the color scheme, and that's why it just clicked in my head. Then I was like, I swear your strings were a different color, or something was lit up in some way. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pink for Sylvia because like we were opening the festival on Sylvia's day. So it was like, right, lads, draped in pink. Let's do it. Our biggest audience ever, and we were all pinked out. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I do want to take us back to last August. We mentioned then with Bloodstock, because when they announced the lineup, we saw your guys' names. We're like, holy shit, Acid Age are coming back. That's fun. We were so fucking happy for you guys. Like, how did that come about? Because obviously you won Metal to the Masters the prior year. That's why you were there. So how did coming back the following year happen?
Our manager, James, got in touch with Simon Hall, and they basically... No, I think Simon reached out to James. That's what it was. And Simon says to him, how would the lads feel about opening up? Because when Simon saw us at Metal to the Masses the previous year, we were the first band on. So he kind of must have had faith in us as an opening act, you know. And that's basically where that came from. And basically, I was out that day. I was out walking the dog, and Jake phoned me. And I had left my phone in the house, and he phoned and phoned and phoned. And I got in, there's a pile of missed calls from Jake. And I was like, oh shit, something's up. So I checked, and I rang him back, and he goes, do you want to play Bloodstock again? I've been trying to get you, man. And I was like, fuck's sake, just confirm. Don't ask. Whatever, when we get an offer like that, please just confirm me as present, and then let me know after. I'll be there.
I'm already at Cat Park. What do you mean? I'm already here.
I don't care if my mum's dead. I'll be there.
My one was amazing. It was Jake phoned me. I was actually on the train coming from Bangor up to Belfast, and just bumped into a mate, like, and he was really gassing me up. He's like, oh, Bloodstock last year, that must have been so amazing. It must have been so good. And I was like, yeah, it was, man. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. Then the phone went off. Yep. Doing Bloodstock again. It was one of those just pure. Yeah, it's just pure. Yeah, ego.
I genuinely thought then you were going to say my story was amazing. I was sat on the toilet. And
brushing my teeth.
You know, this whole album, the whole new album was just I was on a toilet drumming. It was very hard to organize, but they somehow
That's
got.
why they call it the throne.
They got the drums in the studio toilet, and I made it happen. Yeah.
No, but when did it kick in though? Like mentally to you guys, but like, holy shit, we are opening Bloodstock. Like, we're not just playing; we are the first fucking band of that entire weekend.
When we got on stage.
I remember standing backstage, and I've had friends that said they tried to speak to me like half an hour before I played, and they said you were weird. We were all worried about you, you know. Like Dean said, no. Apparently they tried to go, are you excited, man? Are you buzzed? And I was like this. And they said, basically, you know, that they were starting to freak out. Is he going to be okay? Is he going to be sick? Is he going to vomit? What is it? And I remember walking up the wee stage steps and hearing behind the curtain, just hearing loads of people. And kind of then I knew it was all right, you know. I sort of peeked my head out and saw thousands of people and just thought, oh, fuck, they're all going to be looking at me. But it was awesome. It was an absolutely invaluable experience. Like,
I think I was the other way around. It was like, I remember we were like in the wee artist bit they gave us before. And yous were like, you know, there was all this nerves and all. I was sort of sitting on the sofa, like, lads, come on, trying to kind of lighten the mood and all. And then I went on stage. I was like, fucking shit myself.
Again?
Yeah. Literally, yeah.
I still get nervous before every gig.
Yeah, we all get this joint thing. It's like a pre-performance anxiety shit.
Yeah.
And we're always sitting sort of backstage and we're looking and it's like, I need a shit.
There was one in Dublin that was particularly bad, but the three of us were all just like we all have to go. We have to go, but we can't.
I was about to ask if you guys have any like pre-show rituals, things you like to do before you go on stage, but apparently it's just go for a shit.
This probably seems like inappropriate after the conversation that we just had, but I actually love to just do some stretches and like do my vocal warm-ups, but like I need to stretch because, getting on a bit and the neck isn't what it used to be, So I need to make sure I'm warmed up and do my yoga and just enjoy that.
Yeah, you need it, like, especially now. You're crippled after a show if you don't do some kind of stretches on the neck.
Yeah.
I can imagine, to be fair.
So I have a rotary workout that I start at my neck and work all the way down to my ankles, and I basically stretch everything, and that's my wee ritual. And then I just like to make sure I get the voice warmed up just by grunting some oohs and ahs, go up the middle C skill, but like school choir of the year.
You've got a show in London coming up, March 23rd, at the Black Heart.
Yeah, we do indeed.
I do. I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I moved to London 7 weeks ago, so I'm going to.
How's it going for you?
Yeah, great, mate. Absolutely great.
Love it.
But this is not about me. This is about you guys. So, but I appreciate you asking. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Don't apologise. It's okay. It's very rare the guests ever ask us anything, so it's graciously appreciated.
Song,
Huh?
The Chronicles of You.
Yeah, no. I think we toyed with that idea with being interviewed by previous guests and stuff, but I don't know. We might think about that in the future. For like a 200th episode or something, but still, yes. So
about your bowel movements. Are you fairly regular?
So, do you remember that interview we did back in February? Well, basically, I had the shits, and but have you got like, I don't know how much you could talk about this if you can at all, but have you got like an album release tour coming up at all, or like shows coming for the album release?
Yeah, we do. We've won the day before London. Is it Leicester?
Yeah, it's the Metal Monocle in Leicester. So we're doing
Nice.
a couple of shows for the weekend. We're doing Metal Monocle in Leicester, and then the Black Heart in London. We're doing both those shows with a technical death metal band called Lost Brethren.
They're unreal. They were at Bloodstock as well.
Yeah.
And we're
then the week
doing
after-
Preston.
Oh yeah, we're doing Preston with
Solitary. And then we're doing Thrashchester.
Yeah, Thrashchester and Thrashzone as well in Bristol.
Yeah, and then we've got a album release party in Belfast on the 29th of March. And so yeah, it's going really good. And it's been really, really nice. Ever since Bloodstock, we're getting a lot more cross-water gigs, So like I hope that continues,
It's great to get it in general because being like a local metal band in Northern Ireland, you couldn't be more niche if you tried. It's quite hard to get out, and
I actually love our metal scene, but it's like being a big fish in a small pond, because like you think about Ireland, it's like a coin in the middle of a map and you have to fly to go anywhere, whereas like if you're a European band, you jump in a van or you jump in a van and you travel all around Europe, So it's been awesome that we're getting those cross-water things.
The ferries.
Yeah. To do anything, we need to like cross an ocean. We do it for you, Tom and Jamie. We do it all for you guys.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, just give me a second. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Oh, Aran shit again. Sorry about that. Oh.
Oh God. Oh.
Shit. I've been the whole way down the path to London.
Obviously,
Getting my way to London.
Obviously, you've got the new album coming out in March. But do you guys have like a 5-year plan, something you're aiming towards, something you want to achieve next, or is it just fly by the seat of your pants? Let's go. Let's just keep going day to day.
I think this year like getting over to the likes of England more regularly throughout the year is like it's a big step for us, and I think that all comes off the back of Bloodstock doing that twice in a row, like getting more offers, just more awareness of what we're doing in our wee island, and so I think this year we'll focus on UK, and then hopefully next year
Europe.
Yeah, Europe. It's next logical step, really. So
we're doing really, really good, but I feel that there isn't much more for us to achieve in Northern Ireland because like everyone knows us, you know.
Yeah.
And like we go to gigs and we don't sell shirts because everyone's got them already, you know. So it's really nice, and I think, like Jake says, just going to mainland, and I love playing Scotland too. I really love Scotland. I have such a thing about Scotland. I think it's class. And then after that, just hitting Europe, you know, and just anywhere that'll have us. The best thing about being a trio is you fit in any stage. So that's brilliant.
That's a very good point, actually. Yeah. So a question I like to ask bands before we start wrapping up is: people are listening to this are like, Acid Age, I quite like the sound of these guys. I'm going to go check out some of their music. I've never heard them before. What are 2, maybe 3 songs in your back catalogue that you suggest people to listen to get a real feel for what you guys sound like?
A real favorite of people's is The Burning of Rome. People like that song. I think if we ever played a gig where we didn't play that song, people might be upset. So probably it, and check out the State Your Business music video for what's ahead, you know. And it's I would say it's a good teaser, but it's tip of the iceberg, you know.
it doesn't give away too much, so don't worry. There's plenty of surprises.
Yeah.
I think Slave Girl off of Semper Pessimus is a good shout if you want to basically get like the overview of what we sound like and what's possible from an Acid Age song. It's a good
it's a
example.
nice, quick kind of catchy one with a lot of things covered on it. Slave Girl. There'll be more to come on the next album when it releases.
Yeah.
We've just shot a music video. It'll be out hopefully beginning of March. That's what we're aiming for. And it's going to be the second single. But this music video it's important because I've got my favorite song from the album. Jake's got his favorite song from the album. Aran's got his favorite song from the album. But collectively, this is our favorite song to play.
Okay.
So it's a song called Rotten Tooth, and it showcases when we put that song together, there was a rule of fuck the hook, fuck the song, fuck the melody, fuck the listener, fuck everything, right? We're actually going to make a point of just writing absolute chop shop. You know, this is going to just be a show off of a song, and it's so fun to play, and the playing in it is just, I mean, especially Jake and Aran just friggin' took on the form of a unicorn and a falcon, you know, it was just unbelievable. So it's going to be a class video too, you know. I've seen a wee bit of it back on the day that we were shooting it, and it looks really good. So that should be out early March. It's called Rotten Tooth.
You see what I mean with the toothbrushes?
That's what happens when you use them.
Yeah, no, it's good fun. It was actually the last song we did for the album, so it's the most like final fucking splurge it all out, you know.
Yeah, let's use
make
voice
it
and
about what you
all
will.
of it. It's like, do you know whenever you go to make, say you want to make a chili con carne, right?
Yeah.
And you open the cupboard and you open the fridge and there's mince, and you know there's, you know, cumin, and there's, you know, you've got your tomato puree, and you've got your sauce, and you've got your chilies, and then you're like, well, what else is in the cupboard? And you just throw it all in there. It's like, you know what? I don't mind if there's blocks of chocolate in this.
That's quite a good way of putting it, actually. There's definitely a big block. There's definitely a big block of chocolate on it. You'll hear that one, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's chocolate."
There's the chocolate.
Sweet.
I
Fucking
cannot
hell,
wait.
hear this chocolate? Did you hear the chocolate they did? That's fun.
Oh, I cannot wait for the album to come out and hear all this. Mr. Stevens, do you have any more questions for what?
I do. I have two, because I want to know where this title came from. Let me just get my notes a second so I don't get this wrong, right?
God.
The name of this song, like a runaway combine harvester in a field of crippled rabbits.
Right, that's it. I'm leaving.
I take no responsibility for that. That was before my time.
That's pre-Aran.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
Keta.
It's it was I think it was a review I read of a Megadeth album, and it said it's gonna trample on the competition like a runaway combine harvester in a field of crippled rabbits. And just like it was a piece of journalism that I just read and started wetting myself laughing at. So that's where it came from.
Okay. I was fair enough, just Megadeth, that's fine. I just listened to it. I was like, what the fuck? So I just put you on and I was just listening to you on shuffle. I was letting it do its thing, and I just happened to look down at my phone and go, "What's that called?"
I'm not gonna.
It's an absolute abomination.
Aran came into the band and said, "No more of that."
Not really. That was actually my first gig was actually the album launch of that. So we did that whole album in full. So it's actually, I've always called it my disgusting adopted child. You know, like Semper Pessimist, and then Perilous Compulsion are my kids, and it's my like disgusting adopted one that's like, fuck off now. Like.
Yeah, quick hug.
Yeah, piss off, girl.
Yeah, the tap on the head. Yeah, all right.
Opens Christmas present, finds nothing. Oh, sorry, I must have forgot.
No.
Wrapping paper.
It's like, oh god, yeah, you know. But what was it? We did do a tape release that had a couple of those tracks on it, actually, from that first gig that nobody bought.
Probably because the title was too long.
This is emo shit anyway.
Like imagine that was your current album. Imagine that was your current album and you had to tell everyone about that. What's your new album? Like a runaway comment or It just we just refer to it as Combine. But
okay.
But it's shifted away.
Okay, I'll move on to my final question then. Because I'm interested, for all of you, when the Acid Age journey first started, when you first picked up instruments, when you first started singing, drumming, playing bass, etc., did you ever think this is where the band would be today?
No.
No, because we're doing like a runaway comment harvester in a field.
I thought I'd be a lot richer by now.
We've made fun.
You know, whenever people say things like, "Oh yeah, we're in it for the music," and you know, I don't care about all that other stuff. And no, I would like a Lamborghini, and I want a pile of houses, and I actually want loads of. Not roadies, but slaves setting up my stuff on stage,
Slave girls and boys.
No, I'm not sick.
Slave adults.
No, like there will be dignified slaves, they'll be treated like humans, but still slaves, like I might even become friends with one of them or something, but that was the goal. The long-term picture was to have private jets and live the full Led Zeppelin experience,
like
where people don't breathe the same air as you,
Yeah.
You know, when someone pisses you off, you can just have them killed.
we the three of us collectively have put a disgusting amount of money into this band and made fuck all back.
Yeah,
Fucking
we're loving
100
it. Nothing but good experiences and a big suitcase full of toothbrushes. But sure, we'll throw it in the van and get down to the next gig. It'll be
It's
fine.
not the money. It's the friends you make along the way, you know? And the 150 quid you have to spend on a fucking ferry to get to your country.
Oh, that's how I ended it to your country.
It's definitely not mine. It's definitely Jamie's, but it's definitely not mine.
Yeah, Aaron, you want to be careful with that. You could get stabbed with a bottle of Buckfast.
And that's on a good day.
It's a better way to go.
It's
I
like a
get
friendly
stabbed with
welcome.
all the buttons here. Like,
I remember being at that Edinburgh festival one time, and it was amazing to me that like there was posh ladies in fur coats walking around holding Buckfast in the streets. You know?
Welcome to Scotland. Mate, I was on a night, this is years ago, I was on a night out in the middle of Edinburgh and I was walking home, back to my mate's house, sorry, and I heard this screaming and I was like, what the fuck is that? And it's this one guy by himself, just staring at a shop window, shouting at it, and I was like, is he okay? So I walked over, he's fucking having a massive fight with a mannequin in the window. It's like, what's his? Like, welcome to Scotland, and he's just like, mate. It's like, yeah, you okay? It's like,
track him down. You need to track him down and get him on the show.
yeah.
That's
It was
amazing.
mental. It was mental, but it was just like it was a normal thing. Everyone was like, nah.
And the thing
Don't mind
about it is like Scotland as a country's got like all the class medieval style architecture, and you know it's a beautiful place, and some of the landscapes are phenomenal. And like the last time we played Scotland was in December, and literally everyone we met was drunk. Now, when I say that, I also mean the bar staff were drunk, the doormen were drunk, the
Yeah.
sound engineer was drunk.
Yeah.
the sound engineer.
It was like,
Sound engineer. It was something like on his table, like halfway through the gig, pint of Guinness and 2 bottles of Buckfast on his table. He was just fucking working away at it.
I miss
you know
him
what's
so much.
worse is how functional he was. He even did an amazing job of the sound. It sounded
You
really
wouldn't-
good. You
Yeah,
probably
but-
find that if he was sober, it would have sounded like shit.
Yeah, all English. Who had no fucking control. Oh, I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, amazing. Hey, I have a question for you guys before we wrap up.
Go for it.
All right. What is the absolute worst experience you've ever had doing this podcast?
This.
Finding out about Aaron's bowel movements is way too much.
Just
Worst
Aaron.
No, like,
experience.
don't shit on anyone, obviously, but I'm
No,
saying
no.
like, but like,
That's
has there been one experience where like the mics didn't work and things fell apart and stuff broke down, it wouldn't work, or is it literally the storm last week? Or,
Our last
No.
one, yeah.
I have
Well, yeah.
my answer, but
Is it the really early interview by any chance?
no, it isn't actually.
Oh,
No.
what's yours, James?
No, mine is we did an incredible interview with an incredible band called South of Salem.
Ah.
It was phenomenal, like really good interview. And then we ended
We
it,
played
and I
with them.
realised I didn't fucking press record.
Oh,
And
I had to
then,
send that
and then we
embarrassing email out
email,
saying sorry.
and
Yeah.
then we had to interview them at Bloodstock last year.
yeah. They played just after us at Bloodstock.
Yes.
They
last
did, yeah.
year.
And then
Was-
I found out the singer was really happy because he hadn't done like it was the happiest he'd ever been in an interview. Like he was really confident in himself, and I was like, "You've got nothing to show for it, thanks to me and my fuck ups."
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
a good one.
horrible.
That
Yeah.
was pretty bad. I can't think. I mean, there was a time when Jamie's chair broke during an interview. That was fucking hilarious.
Well, that was awful for you, weren't it? Yeah.
That was hilarious. There was a very, 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 very early interview where this person had did some quite cool stuff actually, but my God, it was like pulling teeth. It was like getting
Yeah.
blood out of a stone. Just, how you doing? You all right? Okay, so there's just the answer's like one word, and you're like, this is dire. I think I asked one question the entire time.
Why won't he talk about his shitting?
Yeah.
Or his love of the Scottish alcohol.
I think I'm a disappointment to my countrymen because I don't drink. So
yeah.
Apart from when you force that fucking dirt. I mean, I was good at it for you boys, but yeah, I don't drink at all.
That was all Jude. That was all Jude.
Thanks.
Not me. It was Bloodstock nectar.
It was interesting. That was.
It was all the cider from the previous year, you see, in a 2-liter milk jug.
Was that your like drinking years?
What's that?
Was that the first like drink you'd had in like a while?
Years, yeah.
That's a horrible thing to do to someone.
Yeah,
like,
but it was for I was in the moment. I was loving seeing you guys, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to be, I'm not like
where you're all buzzed out and excited, and then it's like someone says, "Do you punch that bear?" And you go,
basically, yeah.
So what you're basically saying is, you had your one wee sip, and then it all went to hell, and now your life's here, and you're at rock bottom, right? Now you're fucking interviewing us again.
But I love interviewing you guys, and I felt like because the debut album was coming out, it deserved a proper hour and a half, not a quick 10-minute. Although I do fucking love our in-person interviews, and the fact we got to do it twice has been unbelievable. So I'm looking forward to the third.
Yeah.
Real
Excellent.
Scrabby one in London when we're over.
Yeah, but Jamie will be with me, so we could. I tell you what, Aaron,
you can drink his share then.
I just want to come.
I'm gonna make some homemade poison, which is, here's a clue. It's just toilet duck, and I'll make sure that you get a couple of shots of that.
I really hope it's not from the toilet that was used during the State of Business video.
Outstanding.
Oh, incredible. Gents, before we let you get out of here, plugs, social medias, websites, where can people find you out in the world?
Absolutely everywhere. We're on, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. There's also a lot of ones I've never heard of that we're on. I think we're on like Deezer and Music by Twitch and friggin'
Tidal.
Yeah, Tidal. That's and also we're on Bandcamp, which is probably the best way to access us. Like if you want to buy something, a shirt or a CD or whatever, it comes straight from us. And if you want anything, if you're saying, this is a gift for my girlfriend, can you write something disgusting on it for us? Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that for you.
And the pre-orders for the new album are actually live now on the Distortion Project Records Bandcamp. So,
so we need to get like those things to come up there, pledge your money. Come on. It's like bing, 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 bing.
Pledge your money. Jude wants slaves.
You can also find us on LimeWire and FrostWire, and
you can go back in time to 2006 and check us out on MySpace. You can get us on Bebo. Yeah, you see the old photos whenever like Jake had an emo fringe, and
I had one, mate. When I had fucking hair, I had an emo fringe. Yeah.
Did you?
I was one of them.
Down. But he had an afro, but he just gelled a bit of fringe over one.
Fantastic. Put everyone to shame. Started the trend, that did.
It was Sideshow Bob style.
Oh, gents, thank you so much. This means it absolutely well to catch up again. It really does.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, absolutely awesome.
Best of luck with that album.
Time.
Cannot wait.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're like a stain on your show now. We love it. So thank you very much. We won't wash out. Smells always there.
We don't ever want you to. Oh, phenomenal. Boys, this has been fucking sick. I've loved it. It's been so good to catch up. Yeah, I'm so happy that Jake got to be here as well. That was It wasn't the same, man. It wasn't the same, you know?
It's never the same.
No, never.
We actually had to have a practice without him one time because he was working, and me and Aaron just beat the shit out of each other all day. There was no balance, you know. If you think of like me and Aaron as yin and yang, he's the S down the middle.
We was kind of cursed mediator for this band.
We were both getting public transport. Usually Jake would drive Jude down and then pick me up in Belfast, and then so like, we both got up. I was like, where are you? Where are we going?
Help! We got into the practice room and he just shit in his hands.
Go on, Jake started going, right. Guess I better sort this out again.
Constantly sorting it out.
Love it. Oh, boys, pleasure. Absolute pleasure. It's so good to catch up. We'll drop this on Friday, midday. We'll share it obviously everywhere, put all the relevant tags in, etc. And we'll see, hopefully, I'll see you on the 23rd of May. March.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Guys. It's good. Fucking awesome to see us.
Yeah, take it easy, my friends. See you later.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.